I should be able to make pretty much whatever with regards Madoka and Kill la Kill. Because I pulled it from my Madoka pulls. I pulled a. Well, actually, I pulled 3 signs from my pulls, but I got a Sayaka sign, which I was able to sell on eBay. So that pretty much covered the cost of a lot of my other cards I've pulled. And I still have a signed Mommy and a signed Nui to try to get rid of. So
Yeah.
I figure
Well,
I can get the cards that I need to build whatever I want, assuming I know what I want to build beforehand.
yeah. Well, again, pretty much the big thing is if you're gonna do green, you need pretty much four of everything
Mm-hmm.
um, to have enough wiggle room to really get anywhere. But blue definitely seems to be the anchor color between a lot of the decks. I mean, you can make yellow red, but blue is definitely the anchor color of anything. You still need to splash blue even in yellow red.
Hmm.
Um, but blue pretty much needs red. Yellow pretty much needs red. Green needs blue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the problem that ends up coming with a lot of with certain sets is that there are certain sets, particularly in ones that are Schwarz side, which is where if you look at the cards, they have the wings on the bottom where they have the name, and some of them will be white, some of them will be black, depending on what set you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Kill la Kill's black and Madoka's white. Generally, black sets will oftentimes have weird stuff like that. Gargantua's really bad about that, where they actually start like specifying color in different things, or you've got to have like a green pilot or something like that. Like they get really specific of what type of card you can have. Kantai, that's why Kantai is kind of a difficult set to play and build because it gets really specific.
Hmm. And every time I learn something new about this game, I learn there's more that I just don't know.
True that.
Oh well, makes it a good investment, I guess.
I mean, it's a fun game, and to be honest, it's still one of those things where there's very few sets that you're gonna bust out and truly be setting yourself up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's really not a whole lot of sets that you just walk into a room and you're gonna get your butt beat. To a degree, I can't remember if it's Lanad. It's like some of the really, really old sets will get you squished pretty bad. If you have straight Persona 3, you'll get squished. It's just some of the stuff that's like the first handful of sets that came out
Mm-hmm.
are not all that good. Mahime, Growler, Left Through Time, stuff like that's not all that good. But you know, after a certain point, all the stuff kind of starts to get pretty leveled out.
Hmm. Now, earlier you said that you could make a powerful fairy tale deck. I thought I remember hearing fairy tale wasn't all that powerful of a set in and of itself.
It can be, just because it has things, it has answers at all levels.
Hmm.
It's just if you start to get into stuff that's just ridiculously powerful. The big thing that Fairy Tail had was that until recently, you didn't have level 1s and level 2s that went up to like 13k plus. That was kind of Fairy Tail's big thing, was that there were certain cards you could get at certain levels that were just ridiculously overpowered. Like you could have 10k level 1s, and or like there's a level 2 one that is it's like 7,500 base and 500 times character, and then the back row support for it is 2K to front.
Oh wow.
So in middle stage, it's 9.5 by itself if you have a full field, and then it's getting 4K additional to it.
Okay.
So you can start doing stuff like that. Another thing too is if you do Natsu, his big thing is in the extra set. He has a climax combo with a gate that allows you to give him an extra boost in power, and whatever he reverses, I can't remember if it's top deck or top deck set. So it just basically explodes and then top decks the card. And then blue has things that allow you to climax combo bottom deck.
Wait, send something to the bottom of the deck, you mean?
Right.
Okay. But if you... Oh, okay, so you top deck it, and then it gets put into clock as damage, is the whole point?
Well, yeah, it's if you don't want something that's there, and you have somebody has like a really powerful level 1 or something, like again, Log Rise, the level 1s are ridiculous, and that they boost everything and do all these crazy things. Well, if you have a level 1 Suicider that immediately top decks whatever it reverses, no matter what's going to happen, it's going to reverse. Unless it's a level 2 or higher. So it's like, it doesn't matter what you've got, it's going to get top decked, and then you can either put it in damage or waiting room. Because if it goes from damage to waiting room, you can't encore it still. Once it hits that top deck, it can no longer be encored.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's so much going on. So do you know if the the fairy tale that's being released at the end of the year?
Nobody knows.
Oh, okay, nobody knows.
Nobody knows. The only thing that some folks I remember hearing is that supposedly at AX they mentioned that it's supposed to have extra booster in it. So it's booster and the EP, but they haven't released what's actually in it.
Okay.
Because that's where the Persona one has me a little sketchy on it, because it's booster, the first EP, and the last EP.
I know people are saying it doesn't have the Persona animation.
Right, which basically has all the cards for like 2 or 3 of the builds. P4 by itself has like 5 different builds. If you include the EP, if you go by booster, it has like 1.
Oh, okay. Well, now you got me wondering.
Yeah. But we don't know what's in it.
Well, I've already got this pre-order just burning a hole in my pocket, so...
I mean, no matter what, P4 is still fun to play, and you're still going to get most of a Kata deck, which is basically the burn, the red Yukiko. You basically have all the cards you need for that, and that's pretty much all you've got.
If it's just booster?
Well, if it's everything but animation.
Okay.
Animation opens up a couple other builds. Risei has an interesting set of plays. That's been removed. There's some pretty powerful stuff in green that's besides Risei that's also gone, like the oversized TA 1-0 that kicks things to clock, or sorry, kicks things to stock. Which it's like, yeah, you get stock, but at level 1 doesn't make that much of a difference, and it keeps things off the field, and keeps them from being able to encore. The other build that it interferes with is Protagonist, because you don't have the stuff that's in the animation trial deck or the animation booster. So it's very difficult to run because you don't have a Nanako that's pretty much required for that build, or the level 3, because there's a level 3 that you can put out at level 2 through a change, and it gets a boost or something. You also can't do Junes build, which is what's this? Yosuke,
Mm-hmm.
because all Yosuke's cards are all in the animation side.
Was the animation a full booster or an extra booster?
It was an EP.
Okay. Wait, is EP the correct terminology for it? Extra pack or?
Yeah. Extra booster, extra pack.
Huh.
Everybody calls it
See, that's the thing I wonder because if it basically just comes down to licensing issues because
Oh, I'm
with
sure.
everything, because I don't know what studio made the animation, but there's a whole new animation for some reason coming out.
Yeah, the animation is all made by the same people, but all the stuff that's licensed is all from Atlas. Because the EP1 booster and the P4 Arena booster or extra booster, all those were all game based.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't at all based on the animation.
Okay. So animation being the only one missing, so it probably is just a licensing issue with whoever holds the licenses with Aniplex. Wait, but why would that be an issue with the Aniplex? Because Madoka's Aniplex.
Because they've already paid for the license for Atlas. Because it would because to me it makes sense that you either are paying license fees to 2 people, or you're paying it to one person.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Is Aniplex doing the golden animation?
I think so. I think it's the same people.
So I wonder if there'll be a booster for the golden.
No. The next Persona booster that's coming out is Q. For the
Oh,
3DS
well, yeah,
game.
there's that.
I
But
don't think they'll do one for Golden.
with as popular as Persona is?
Yeah, I don't think they will, because ultimately, there's nothing new to put in there.
Mary cards.
But that's only one character.
True.
It's not going to be. There's not going to be enough. There's not enough new content to warrant putting in something new. That's why, like, you look at Persona Q. Persona Q has all new stuff. I mean, granted, they're characters that already exist, but they're, new art, new story, new everything. There's enough new art and new content to really warrant putting on a new set. Really, the only new stuff that you get out of Golden is possibly some Margaret cards, and Marie. That's really all you would end up getting, because all the footage of all the other characters are all, kind of piss poor animated versions of the stuff you've already seen.
I was just wondering what. I wonder how they'll change it though. I haven't seen either. I haven't seen the original animation anyhow.
Well,
actually, with that in mind, I need to beat the. I haven't even beat Persona 4 Golden yet. I got like 80 hours in and taking a break.
If you haven't played through Persona 4 or Persona 4 Golden as a new game plus, the P4 Golden anime is not going to be even worth watching for you. Because basically the idea of that anime is that it just tells Marie's story, and all the
Wait,
other
you said
stuff.
a new game plus?
Yeah.
Man, that game is like 100-something hours. I don't have another 100-something hours to dump into a new game plus.
I was gonna say, you don't need to spend that much time when you play New Game Plus, because you start off with all of your weapons and stuff, so you can end up buzzing through the dungeons like crazy. Plus, when you go through a New Game Plus, you keep all of your like your courage and all that stuff. All that stuff stays. So that's what's funny about watching the Golden anime is, like, when he first meets the asshole teacher in the ends up getting offed, rather than walk up and he gets all rude with you, he actually the main character actually just walks up and shakes his hand and goes hi, and it kind of disarms him, and he gets this stupid look on his face. It's things like that that when you played the game you couldn't do that. It would say that would be great if your courage was high enough. Well, when you go through New Game Plus, usually your stats are high enough that you can go and do those things.
Oh, okay.
Or like if you walk up to the girls and just straight, hey, can I get your number? You know, and there's certain things that will happen which will change the way that they react to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's what ends up making watching Golden funny, is that it's obviously somebody going through the storyline on New Game Plus because the main character has a lot more charisma.
That's interesting. I still don't know if it warrants a full series interesting, but whatever. It's their
It's
money.
it's only like 13 episodes. It's pretty much just long enough to give Murray's story.
Hmm. Yeah, well, now you make me want to finish that game. Even though I still have probably like 40 hours left or something. So how long would a New Game Plus playthrough even take? I mean, even if you're retaining your weapons and all that.
About, I'd say maybe 15, 20 hours. Start to
Really?
finish. Yeah.
What about like all the social links and all that jazz?
Well, if you know exactly what you're doing and where to go, yeah. Because you can just skip all the text because you've probably already seen it before.
I don't know. I'm never usually one to do New Game Pluses. But if it's just interactions that change, that's one thing. But like with the whole... Well, actually, don't tell me. I'll figure it out.
Well, I'll say New Game Plus. It's the dialogue. It's the dialogue and the way that that characters react to you
Oh, okay.
that ends up being different, and it's just fun to go through that game and just curb stomp anything that comes in your way.
My game backlog so much, I don't think I never do New Game Pluses, hardly ever.
I think I want to say that my game clock on Golden is actually pretty much zeroed out. I've played that game way too much.
What do you mean? Wait, you mean like as in 999 hours plus?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I play that game way too much. Because eventually when you start doing New Game Plus, it's so easy that you just kind of just roam around and beat up on stuff. So it's a time waster. But yeah, as far as finishing up on that thought was that nobody knows what Persona E is going to have, and so far they haven't announced what cards are exactly making it in, because the big problem is when you look at Persona, if Persona 4 was like 120 cards, 130 cards, something like that, then I wouldn't care, because then there's obviously enough stuff in there that you've got directions you can go in, but it's only a 100 card set. So it makes you wonder what they cut out and what they replaced.
Oh, I see.
Because you've got a 36 card set out of Arena. You've got like a 20 something card EP from the original EP, and the 100 cards from the booster. What got taken out to replace for those other cards, and what got left in, and what got taken out.
Man, now you got me rethinking my pre-order.
So, we don't know. I mean, it's still going to be fun because Persona's a fun set to play. But as far as the decks that I would like to play, particularly I want to play a Junes build, which is pretty much all Nanako and Yosuke, and those are all EP based or animation.
See, I wouldn't necessarily be averse to just getting that in Japanese, but that seems to be nigh impossible to get in Japanese at this point.
Pretty much, because all the cards in there are really necessary, and it's old.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, it's like if they come out with Fairy Tail and they say they've got like 110 cards, 112 cards, or something like that, then I'm gonna be all over it. I'll probably go crazy and buy almost a case or close to a case.
Oh, wow. Wait, so you'd rebuy it just for English?
Yeah. I do
Okay.
it. I do it in a heartbeat. If they said that they basically had EP and booster and that it's pretty much everything just with duplicates removed,
Mm-hmm.
then I would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay.
But
Well, I
the
mean, that
problem,
is your Skype name, so I'm
yeah,
not a judge.
the problem with that is if they do a 100 card set and they start removing stuff, um, green they could get away with it because there's not a whole lot of overlap between it because green is pretty much Lucy. Um, Yellow is pretty much Urza, and there's a couple like junker cards that you can throw out, and add the brainstorm, the 2/2 Urza, and there's a back row support that's really good, and that's pretty much the only things in yellow that would need to be added from the EP. Red, on the other hand, pretty much everything good for Natsu is all in EP. That really huge 2/1, the 2000 the front back row. What else? So a bunch of that stuff is all. Oh, the Suicider, the top decks, and the second gate. All that stuff is all EP. Blue is probably the one that would suffer the most because you can't remove anything from blue and booster, and you would need to make room for all of the Wendy stuff. Because you pretty much can't build a dragon deck without Lucy, or not Lucy.
Without Wendy.
Yeah, because Wendy's level 3 is your healer. Because basically you run four gates and 4 2K1s, and end up with Wendy as your heal card. She has an ability that's like a pay one, and give a character like a dragon character like 3,000 until the end of turn.
Oh, wow.
Turn. So it pretty much that's that entire build. If you don't have the Wendy cards, you can't build them. And pretty much the only Wendy cards you really need are her vanilla. There's a card that's almost necessary in all decks. That's a 2/5 level 0 that you pay one, give a character like 1,000, and at the end of the turn it goes to memory.
Wait, what level is that?
Level 0.
Oh, okay. So good for deck compression then.
Well, it's not so much deck compression. Everything in Fairy Tail depends on memory.
Really?
Yeah. Almost everything is in memory. Because the idea is, how much of Fairy Tail have you watched?
I don't watch it. I just read the manga.
Okay. Have you seen the stuff with Aeolus?
Of who?
Aeolus, the other world, the mirror.
Oh
world?
yeah, yes.
Okay. Basically, the idea of the whole mechanic of Fairy Tail is basically the idea of the two different worlds.
Oh yeah.
So basically, almost everything sends to memory. So like your pay one drop goes to memory. Your first turn 4K goes to memory when it dies. So it's not so much that you deck compress. Deck compress is a happy accident. But the main thing is that you'll have like there's a punch. It's a 1/1 2K punch, but it's like a 3,500 punch if you have 2 in memory. Wait, no, it's a 3K punch because it's 1,500 base, and then you get another 1,500 if there's two or more. All of the Lucy stuff gets a boost if there's key characters in memory. Because the idea is she summons all of her stuff from memory. So it's like everything works out of memory.
Okay. Well, that'll be interesting to see when it comes out. I don't know if I'm gonna invest in that or not. It just depends. Although now you got me wondering about my pre-orders for Persona, but whatever. I need something in English.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it'd be like, cancel my Persona pre-orders and then just load up on Sword Art, but I don't even know if... I mean, I guess it'd be good to have a Sword Art deck, but...
Well, yeah, unfortunately, the main build, though not the most expensive, is one of the more in-demand ones. Generally, one of the more expensive builds is anything with red. But yellow-blue is, kind of a pain in the ass to get all the stuff you need for it, because it is something that, for the most part, people get when they just want to have a Sword Art deck, or they just want a deck that's good but cheap. Green is also fun in pretty much if you go mono green. In Sword Art, the only problem with doing mono green is to make a good mono green deck, you need 4 of a promo punch. Or not promo punch, promo climax.
And how much is that promo climax? Well, I guess you said you don't really know the English.
They're like, well, I was just saying, in Japanese, they're like $5 a pop. So, God only knows. I don't even know if they came in the English ones. I mean, they might. But...
Well, I know my the home row that I have in my deck that, if I'm using the term correctly, shoots the clock. That's just a promo that was only out in Japan.
Right. But the thing is, that was like a tournament promo. That was like if you showed up for a tournament, you got it as a prize for showing up. These were ones that if you bought a box, every box came with like 3 climaxes in it. And every box of Sword Art 2 came with these 3 climaxes that were different. They're the same climax as one that was in set 1, but they did something different. Like, the promo one I'm talking about, I can't remember what exactly it does. The original one was a auto stock, which nothing uses anymore. But it got replaced with like a 1K1 of some sort, I think.
I needed to go to bed like a while ago, but it's like it's 1:48 in the morning where I'm at here. So, well, this has been very informative. I'm gonna have to cut this out.
Right. And just to tell you, what it was a gold bar.
Okay.
I just remember it's a gold bar, so it adds it to your hand. So it ensures that you can do the climax combo.
All right. So as opposed to what beforehand, you said it was just a stock?
Yeah, it was an auto stock one.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like that one. Since the combo is that it gets bigger and then it shoots the clock. Anything it reverses goes to clock. It's a level 2.
Oh wow, 2 that shoots. Is that common to have a 2 that shoots the clock?
They're out there. It's just it's not very big, so you have to boost it. But now with the promo gets a 1,000 boost, extra soul, and is a gold bar, so it ensures that it's going to happen. So it's kind of useless unless you have that.
Okay.
But anyway, man, get some sleep.
Yeah, I'll try.
All right.
Thanks for the game. Or wait, yeah, I didn't play a game yet too, but thanks for the information anyhow.
No problem, man.
And I'll see you around.
Play you later.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.